Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. At a time when a countless number of games are released every year from so many sources, it's inevitable that the majority of new releases will go overlooked. In a better world, the quality of these games would cut through the confusion, the social media chatter and search engine algorithms to generate more noise for themselves when they're released. It's important to remember that it's never too late to discover any of these titles. Actually, the player deserves to discover the kinds of games that will remind you why you love gaming in the first place. These are some of the underrated games that you may have not yet had the pleasure to play. Let me know in comments if I missed out on any games that should be included, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video. Often referred to as the snowboarding equivalent of the skate series, Shredders is that kind of extreme sports game that exchanges some of the arcade-like thrills of Tony Hawk-style games for a more realistic experience. Yet, there is something undeniably rewarding about mastering this sublime snowboarding experience. Once you learn this game well enough to not fall on your face every time you head out to the slopes, you'll find that Shredders offers one of the deepest and most engaging extreme sports experiences of the last several years. Despite what the name may suggest, much of Arcade Paradise's gameplay actually sees you manage a laundromat that happens to include an arcade machine or two. However, every load of clothes you wash and every penny you save brings you one step closer to turning the family laundromat into the arcade of your dreams. It's that laundromat element that makes this game so special. By the time you actually get to focus most of your time in this game on running the arcade, you will truly feel like you've earned some time in the gaming paradise of your own design. This game leans heavily on nostalgia, but it reminds us that our nostalgia for arcades isn't just about arcade games. It's about a culture, a place, and an irreplaceable experience. There's been no shortage of great Zelda-like games over the years, and, on the surface, Tunic appears to be just that. However, this title has a few tricks up its sleeve that elevates it far above whatever expectations you might have based on that stylistic genre. Built around the gimmick of assembling and translating a kind of instruction manual, Tunic is one of those games that really forces you to learn the experience as you play. Key parts of the basic Tunic experience are withheld from you right at the start. This is the kind of game that fully embraces the joy of figuring it out, without forcing you to wade through a daunting Souls-like experience.
You do the work, get paid.
Citizen Sleeper will turn a lot of people off pretty much right away. After all, it's a role-playing game where much of the action takes place via visual novel-like storytelling sequences. That's an inherently polarizing series of ideas. Yet, it's better to look at Citizen Sleeper as one of the most elaborate and impressive digital tabletop RPG experiences ever made. You can also think of it as a dice roll-based text adventure where the boundaries aren't defined by the traditional technical limitations you find in visually richer games. Instead, the possibilities in this RPG are nearly limitless. Just about any character-building idea or storytelling ambition you can think of can be achieved. Despite the incredible amount of player influence on display in Citizen Sleeper, it's some of the game's built-in universe-building elements that really make this one shine. Titles like Doom Eternal have experimented with the idea of rhythm-based shooters that tap into that natural flow you find in some of the most intense FPS games. However, Metal Hellsinger goes a step further by fully embracing what you could describe as DDR meets in FPS. The results are simply brilliant. If nothing else, this game expands upon the natural relationship between music, rhythm, and shooting that so many of the best FPS games ever made have historically embraced in their own ways. This game is a shot of pure adrenaline that almost never lets up and leaves you feeling like you can take on the world without missing a beat. By their very nature, ARPGs offer more moment-to-moment action than more traditional role-playing games. However, the true joy of the best ARPGs still comes from watching your character grow as you play. Well, few ARPGs tap into that core pleasure quite like Nobody Saves the World. Cast in the role of the titular Nobody, this game asks you to endlessly experiment with 15 different forms and 80 different form abilities in order to find the perfect protagonist for you. It may sound strange, but the beauty of this game is the way that it allows you to make some truly horrendous builds that are about as strong as wet paper. Yet, there is real joy in every single experiment, mistake and success that perfectly complements the exciting moment-to-moment gameplay from the brilliant creators of Guacamelee. Much like The Matrix, nobody can be told what Neon White is. Sure, I can tell you it's a kind of card-based, free-running action game with anime-like presentation and some truly bizarre plot points, but it's difficult to describe this game with a handful of words, much less tell you exactly what makes it so special. However, games are meant to be played, and that's where Neon White shines. You can't appreciate this game's smoothness, style, and surprisingly complex strategic elements until you've experienced a few runs. I kind of hate turning to the cliché of a game that puts you in a Tetris-like zen zone to describe why an experience works, but Neon White may just be the most complex and rewarding game that still manages to tap into that elusive feeling. Card Shark sees you play as an 18th century gambler trying to make a few coins through the ancient art of cheating. Sneak a look at your opponent's cards. Add a few new cards to your own hand. Nothing is off the table in this game that challenges you to see how much you can get away with. In its simplest form, this game offers an intoxicating style of strategy you won't find in any other title. Card Shark features so many creative ways to cheat and even more ways to get caught. Yes, you can refine your approach over time, but true success is reserved for those who learn to properly think on their feet and do what the situation calls for. Outside of that, undeniably captivating gameplay promise though, it's Card Shark's incredible art style, memorable music and surprisingly complex narrative that elevate it into the realm of those truly special indie experiences that make you glad that you bother to take that always risky chance on something truly new. Rallydrome is an extreme sports third-person shooter that cleverly showcases how some of the best games in both of those genres are united by combo systems. The average Rallydrome level sees you blend together both tricks and kills as you try to survive a dangerous new bloodsport that dominates this game's dystopian landscape. Rallydrome is so good that it will make you angry. How does a game this stylish, this tight and this unique manage to fly so far below our collective radar? One Steam reviewer called this game a mix of Tony Hawk and Max Payne, which might not be the most mechanically accurate comparison, but it is the kind of comparison that hammers home just how special and enjoyable this entire concept really is.
Mind reading this out?
Immortality is a game that asks you to comb through hours of live-action clips in order to solve the mystery of a missing actress and the unreleased films she once starred in. There is almost no traditional gameplay to think of, and it's entirely possible that you could walk away from this game with no idea of what's it about. There's a strong chance you will hate this game, and there's a strong chance you won't consider this to be a game at all. Yet, interactivity will always be the unique heart of the video game medium, and few games released this year explore that idea better than Immortality. Your Immortality experience is defined entirely by not only how you interact with its mechanics, but how you interpret the significance of your findings. No two people will play this game exactly the same way, which means that what you get out of it is very much tied to what you put into it. At the heart of it all is a mystery that was clearly inspired by several cult classic pieces of cinema, but feels truly unique in the ways that matter most. Discovering what happened to actress Marissa Marcel is a journey of revelations both great and small.